Hi everyone, welcome to the Spin Cycle podcast, podcast talking to the groups, personalities and the brand that make the UK and London an incredible place to be a cyclist. Today, got two friends of ours, yet another guest of my wedding. We've got Josh and Khory from ZF Media. Josh and Khory, welcome to the podcast.
Are you there?
Look, I guess, we typically have been breaking the podcast into three sections. Who are you? How did you build your thing? And then the Q&A. So, starting with who you are, Khory, maybe we start with you. How did you get into cycling originally? And I guess who are you as a person?
Okay. So, I started cycling probably about 13 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Mostly just took it up a couple of guys that I used to work with. As part of the other stuff that I was doing at the time, I was working in IT. There's a few guys that started cycling, and a few guys that raced previously. They got bikes. They were commuting in and out of work and going to a few different bits and bobs. And it always took my fancy as a kid. I used to watch the Tour de France back in the early 90s and stuff like that. So it's always something I've been into. They kind of coaxed me out of the bike, and I started much the same way as everyone. Didn't really want to get into it too much and felt a bit of a lemon wearing all the lycra and stuff. So started out on a bit of a commuter bike. I think my first bike that I bought as I got older anyway was a Giant flat bar, like crossover bike. So just cruised around those for a while, and then the bug got me again from when I was a kid, and slowly invested every spare penny I had into cycling and spent a little bit more time doing it. So I guess I'm probably never really went down the racing route. I like collarbones and my legs, and I need my fingers for working. So really an option. So I tend to I like, not so much the cafe culture, more the pub culture and riding with my mates and enjoying myself and getting away and getting lost in the mountains and generally being extremely slow. That's kind of how I got into cycling, and it's just kind of snowballed from there, really.
And Josh, how about you?
I kind of fell into cycling probably about 8 years ago or so. Like, I had a kid, went from a physical job to an office job, got extremely overweight, ended up at like 18 stone or something. And then I bumped into Khory at a party, and he was like, "Get a bike." So I went home probably, and like maybe a couple of days later, I got on eBay, got a Claude Butler bike.
Oh yeah.
Started riding.
Nice.
It was extreme. I tried to ride home from the office.
I remember those Claude Butler days. Oh.
OG brand.
It didn't last long. But I tried to ride home from the office, which is about 10k. I had to stop 3 or 4 times. Couple of chocolate bars on the way home because I'd seen that on YouTube. Then tried to ride back to the office the following day. He rode past me, like didn't even know it was him, but he just gave me one of those. All right, and I was like blowing away.
Flexing.
My mum to come collect me and drive me into the office.
No,
and the rest is history.
And funny enough, probably about a year or so later. We've been riding together for a while, and we kind of been doing different bits and bobs. And it turns out Josh is an animal. He carried on riding all the time, lost loads of weight, and I've been trying to stay on his wheel ever since, and I repeatedly get dropped. So it just goes to show it doesn't take much to get faster than me.
So essentially the apprentice became the master, is that what you're saying happened here?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
It's what he tells people. Like, I've always been 10 kilos lighter than Khory.
You are.
According to Khory.
I'm sticking to it.
It's all about setting your own narrative. So how did you guys properly meet? As you mentioned, a house party. Then have you always been like lifelong friends, or?
No, we met in a pub.
Yeah,
we had a kind of crossover in a pub through mutual friends, and just kind of went from there. We became properly close after cycling. Really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so there was a local pub that we used to go to, and you were sort of phasing out as I was phasing into the pub in the same group of friends. People often thought we were the same person.
People still do think
we're the same person, as you can tell.
No one can get it right.
Yeah.
No one can get it.
But yeah, we've been still with the same person for quite a while. And yeah, it was pretty much afterwards. I think it was again through a mutual friend. We kept talking about cycling. I mean, I was into it. My mate used to call me a gimp and all sorts, and and he's like, "Oh, Josh wants to get cycling." I was like, "Yeah, no, I did bump into him and whatnot." And then we started riding together a bit more often. And I mean, he only lived about 2K away from my house, so it was easy to like loop each other in on any rides that we were doing. It was just really convenient, and it just kind of went on from there. Really, it turns out we're both a pair of idiots, so we get on quite well.
Fair enough.
What type of rides do you do now compared to back at the beginning?
We seem to have got busier, so we ride less.
I'd probably say, yeah, like frequency outside's less. We turned into a pair of loners, to be honest. So we spend quite a lot of time on the turbo. Because I mean, just with I guess, the game that we're in at the moment, we tend to spend a lot of time taking pictures of other people riding bikes and enjoying themselves and stuff like that. So your weekends are taken up with, photography jobs or content creation or editing or videos or whatever it may be. And generally the time that you're going to get on bikes is, you've got an hour on your lunch break, you shoot out for a quick hour, you jump on the turbo. But I mean, in terms of style of riding, we probably started off mainly road, wasn't it really? And now we do a little bit of everything, anything I can get my hands on. If it's got two wheels, I'll ride it, to be honest.
There's a joke in that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. As I was saying, I was like, there you go.
Maybe that's a good segue to go into the second section. We'll be right back after this break.
Love it. Welcome back, everyone. So, guys, how did ZF Media start?
Organically,
Yeah,
I would say.
to be fair, yeah.
Kind of, it's hard to say how it started and where it started. I started kind of Zero Fuxx CC during lockdown on a whim after a bike ride. Just a random Instagram page, never really had any real idea of selling anything or taking it anywhere. It was just fun to showcase people that didn't really care about what they looked like on a bike, kind of the size they were, like what they were riding, just people that were free to just ride their bikes and have fun. So that's kind of where it started, showcasing that. And then Khory joined in because we basically do everything together anyway. So
Pretty much, yeah.
there's another.
Yeah, pretty much. There's another one in there, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. So at the beginning of lockdown, you couldn't really ride with people, so we'd kind of set our routes out and kind of pass each other on other sides of the road, and I've got a puncture, and we talk to each other over the road and stuff like that. And then when you could kind of keep your social distancing and stuff, we'd ride together. And it kind of came up about that, to be honest, because mostly I'd say at the beginning we were posting quite a lot of our bits onto our personal Instagrams and stuff like that, but you've kind of got your old, it's like you've organically grown something. It's just your old school friends and family members and stuff like that. And, people don't really want to see you out on your bike and this and that. And it becomes such a passion, I guess, and such a driving force behind everything that we kind of did from an online perspective. It kind of made sense to pick something different. And that's kind of where Josh came up with the whole Zero Fuxx thing, because generally speaking, we don't really care what anyone thinks about what we do and how we do it, as long as or what anyone else does and how they're doing it. And I think it's one of the things from a cycling perspective, I would say, and the cycling scene, it's changed a lot maybe over the last sort of 5 years. But originally it was quite a little bit elitist.
Yep.
It was extremely elitist. It was very much about what power you put out, or before power, what your zone heart rates were and stuff like that, and what's your average speed. No one would take it seriously unless you could do 30k an hour plus. You go out for some group rides with clubs, and it would very much be, especially if you sat between groups. You get up towards your G1, G2, G1. And people take themselves a lot more seriously, it's in a pace line, do your turn, this, that, no time to stop. If you get dropped, make your own way home and stuff. And it's kind of like, this is my spare time. I'm very serious, at work, and I've got a family, a wife and 2 kids, you've got to be very serious 98% of your time. Getting on the bike is my time to let loose. And that's kind of where the whole Zero Fuxx attitude came from, because we just wanted to do what we want. But Josh kind of had the drive to set something up, and then that kind of organically grew into doing kit and T-shirts and stuff like that, and that kind of built. And, in order to do all of that, kind of fell into the photography a little bit.
Well, we've always been into cameras and stuff.
Yeah, I've been taking pictures for, I don't know, 20 odd years, to be fair, on and off, and it kind of just fell back into, we need to do product stuff. We need to be able to promote the stuff that we're making and do it properly. So we took it a little bit more seriously, and then realised that we really, really, really enjoyed the photography side. And it's kind of overtaken the clothing side, to be fair, especially in the last sort of 2 years. The photography side's photography, videography, content creation, the digital media. And that's kind of where we branched off into ZF Media over the last probably 2 to 3 years. The ZF Media side, which is just an arm of the whole Zero Fuxx kind of umbrella that we got to sit underneath, it's kind of taken a bit of priority and a bit of the centre stage. But that's kind of how it kind of all came about, and it's just kind of organically grown, really.
So I guess
we never looking for work. We never went and said, "Can we have a paid job?" to anyone.
No,
we just started getting asked.
No, we just kind of I guess you just kind of be everywhere, really.
We were,
just kind of, if there's something going on, we just turn up and take pictures and just send them to people and go, we think these pictures are cool, and people liked them, and kind of went from there more so than anything.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because, I met you guys. I think NJ and I both met you maybe. Do you know what? I met you at the CGC brunch, I think, or Khory. I think you remember the one last year. Was it that? That's where we met, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
there was the brunch, I think, where we met first time, and then we went out on the Moloko ride, and we rode together a little bit on that.
That was it. So is it, like you said, just organically grown, right? Because, one of the things that NJ and I spoke about previously about you guys on, by the way, a discarded podcast we did where we rambled for 2 hours and none of it was usable. But
much like this one,
But what we were saying was,
as he pops it up,
what we were saying was most people see a lot of London cycling through your lens, so to speak. So a lot of the best pictures that people have submitted to us or that people have of themselves that are on Instagram typically are the ones you've taken, right, from a Rafa night out or, a group ride and things like that. And I guess the question I'm asking is, did it start with you going to events, taking photos, sharing it, and now the brands are coming to you saying, we like what you do? Or how's that kind of grown from when when it first started taking photographs of events, really?
Pretty much, I'd say. It was just going to events, having fun. We like taking point and shoot cameras to parties and things like that, and then sharing the photos. Mm-hmm. We weren't expecting them to go anywhere a lot of the time, but content for your own Instagram to start off with. And then people ask you to come take shots, or people start sharing the shots. So brands then come to you like, "Can you take photos for this party?" or "Can you take photos for this event?"
Mm-hmm.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah,
we've got quite a select group of brands that we work with at the moment. We don't do massive amounts of work for lots of different brands. I think it's just quite enclosed, so it's quite visual in the community in London.
Yeah, I think it is quite tight. It's not that we don't want to work with any brands or anything like that, but it's kind of it's got to fit what we do in a way, which kind of works when brands do come to you for stuff, because they obviously come to you because they like what you do, they like your artistry, like how you portray cycling or cycling or anything that you may be shooting. So in that way, it kind of works rather than approaching people all the time and trying to sell something. I find from my experience anyway, if you do that, you almost have to fit into a box in terms of how you do stuff. With your kind of super clean, it kind of sucks a bit of the fun out of it for us when everything's really clean, because we like doing what we do, and that's why we do it, and putting our own spin on stuff. So I think it works well when the brands do come to you and ask you to do stuff. Yeah, we do approach brands that we think that are cool and kind of fit with the style of stuff that we do, and we kind of believe in their portrayal of the brand and how they put their brand across and what they're trying to sell. I don't think we would just jump on any bandwagon and do anything for anyone if it's not something that we believe in. We do get approached by some brands out there that might say, "Oh, can you do some stuff for this?" And if it's not something that we believe in or we think that people should spend their money on, because cycling's an expensive sport.
Yeah,
it's not something it's accessible on many levels, but the more you get into it, the more you spend. And if you're at the top level of the brands, it can be really expensive. So we wouldn't go and work for something or produce content for something that we wouldn't spend our own money on.
We like brands to come to us and be like, "We trust you. There's the product, or this is what we want shooting. Go and do your thing.
Right.
Just come back with it." Like, we don't like to be essentially told. Oh, just gets a bit sterile. And we're in this for fun. That's the ZF. It's the Zero Fuxx.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, let's go and have a laugh and let things be organic. If you tell us we need a sunset shot, sometimes it doesn't work. Like, a lot of the times, the best shot you get is the last shot of the day, where you're not even like trying to take a photo. It's just one that it just works organically. And
And I think we try and create a fun environment, which I think comes across in it. Well, it depends on what you're into, but we try and have a laugh. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think it comes across in the pictures because it's supposed to be fun, isn't it? Cycling's supposed to be fun. I think if you suck the fun out of it and it's right, hit this climb and give me, I don't know, 1,000 watts for 30 seconds or whatever someone can do, go full gas, like that can be fun in the right situation. It's a lot more fun if they've had 4 beers first. Suffering's fun, but also having fun on your bike's fun, whether that's at the coffee shop or mucking about in the field or doing skids in the local park, whatever it is. I think that fun element's got to be something that we put into it. We like to have a laugh.
Well, that's why we're doing it. We're doing it because we don't want to do our day jobs, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
You get stuck in office jobs and behind the desk, computers. We don't want to do it. And the last thing we do is, when we're doing our side thing, which is becoming a main thing, is to make it sterile and not fun, because then it just becomes the day job again. That you then chase something else to get out of that job.
Yeah, you don't want to resent the thing that you're doing, for sure.
So, I mean, go on, sorry.
Drink beer. This is work.
I was going to take us back to, I guess, when did you, buy your first cameras, and then what about, taking photos did you fall in love with? For it to, from a hobby to get to this stage in your life where, brands are paying you to take pictures of their apparel?
I always had like little point and shoot cameras and little fun cameras. I remember I went to Thailand and bought a little lomography film camera, little stupid thing. Like, someone told me when I bought it, if you look through the viewfinder, just shoot upwards a bit because it's a bit out. And I got back from Thailand and all the shots were just of the sky. Didn't work out. But then I started taking photos on the bike when I started my Instagram. Like, obviously I wanted to take photos of what we were doing, stopping at pubs at 10 a.m. It was fun, like taking photos, and I had my phone, and then that like upgraded to an old Olympus that I used to carry around on the bike.
I like that Olympus.
The Olympus was good.
I
nearly bought one again the other day. The camera becomes an addiction.
It does, yeah.
But just upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. And now I barely carry the camera on the bike, but always used to be that guy riding around with a camera on his back.
Yeah. I think, my dad was into photography when I was younger. He had an old Olympus OM10 film camera that he used to bring on our summer holidays and stuff. And we've got suitcases of old shots, old film and stuff. It's quite evocative. I used to love going through all of that stuff, and he used to let you play with the camera and stuff like that when I was younger. So I used to love taking pictures and stuff like that, and then didn't really do anything for years. You grow up and got into skating, football, music, and beers, fags, whatever. I kind of left it all alone. And then I think it was probably around about 2007. I was still Kung Fu. I was in Hong Kong, and one of my mates, Toby, he was getting into a few pictures, and we were out in Hong Kong, so we ended up buying cameras. So had an old Canon 50D, I think it was the first one I bought. Because going back a few years, about 2007, and you kind of got more into my photography then. And my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is an incredible photographer and artist. He's a really good painter, drawer, an incredible photographer. Doesn't give himself enough credit, to be honest. And he was quite an inspiration to me in terms of taking pictures. He's kind of one of my go-to people. So there's probably 3 people that I care when I take a picture, and I think it's cool. That's probably the first thing. If I think a picture's cool, I quite like it. But there's a few people, if they give you that little nod of approval, that they kind of give me a boost. You know, Josh is one of them, because one of our ongoing things is I'll end up taking a picture, or we'll go out and we'll do a shoot together, and we get back and we're kind of going through our first Khory images and stuff like that. And I'll be looking at Josh's laptop, and I'm like, oh, fucked it, haven't I? I've absolutely ruined it. He's actually a terrible photographer. I'm useless. And funny enough, he does the same thing, looks at my laptop, and he hates all of his shots, and we have to kind of separate and do them separately and come together. So he's probably one of the first approvals. My brother-in-law is second approval, and then every now and then you get a little like on Instagram from the gods, which is Stuart Clapp.
Shout out Stuart Clapp.
Yeah, shout out Stuart Clapp. Because if Clappers likes your picture, it's finished. I don't care if he gets 1 like, no likes, no shares, nothing. If he likes your picture, you know you smashed it, because he's the photographer's photographer. You know, he's top stuff.
So with that in mind, you know, maybe some of the brands you've worked with, or maybe weddings that you've shot within the past 3 months, or, you know, photos of your family and things. What do you think is...
Clients are awful. Absolutely fucking awful.
What do you think maybe, you know, one of the best shoots you've done, or one of the best pictures you've taken?
No doubt for me, my favourite event stroke shoot that I've done was the Rafa Brain Dead launch. I just feel like I hit my groove that night.
You annihilated it that night.
I just hit my groove, and like Jess at Rafa as well.
Yeah, Jess.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like she just gave us the creativity to do what we wanted to do. Like,
to be fair, I'd agree with that. After we shot Brain Dead Rafa, I was probably this close to throwing my camera away, because his pictures were that good.
Really?
They really were. You know, you kind of look at stuff and you go, I know how you've done it, but I don't know how you've done it. You know, it's just, it was genuinely a really, really good shoot. It's still got some of my favourite pictures in it, to be fair, that I've ever seen anyway. Yeah.
You think you would have put some up on the wall?
I would do, but I'm going to need that. I've got my pictures up on the wall.
Pictures of his own face.
You took them?
Yeah, I took them.
As you're a tandem, what would you say your like photography style is? Because usually when you think of photographers, you think of just like the singular one person who shoots everything through like, I guess, one lens and their sort of creativity. How do you two, I guess, work with each other to have like, I guess, pictures that look seamless? I guess like a Pixar film, how there's lots of different animators, which makes it, but you think it's all just one person who's animated it. How would you say that, I guess, the stories that you tell through your image making, what's the word I'm trying to think of, is like, I guess, it doesn't look like 2 people have shot it, if that's what I'm trying to get at, is I want ZF Media because they do a certain thing. Like, what would you say your, I guess, photography style is, and how do you two, I guess, work together so your pictures aren't too contrasting?
I think, like, we're just openly honest with each other the whole time. Like, there's no blowing smoke up each other's arse. Like, if we don't like something, if we don't like it, it's like his photo is my photo is his photo at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of the time, maybe if we do a shoot, like, one person will go through the photos at the end and do the cull and the initial edit, or we'll do an edit separately and then bring them back together and then work so it's cohesive. But, like, we're kind of in tune now. We know how we shoot.
Yeah. We're quite similar in terms of personalities and stuff like that. We're not we're not like polars, as it were. So in terms of how it comes together, in terms of like pulling shots and how we see stuff quite similar, which works out quite well. So I mean, in terms of composition and how we shoot something, organically it's quite similar. We're not miles apart on how it is. We did spend quite a bit of time when we started taking things a little bit more seriously. You start doing the more corporate stuff, and you need to have a look, and you need to have something that's consistent through what it is that you shoot. We did spend time sit down, and we've got a base amount of presets that we know that we'll both use. So they're not a mile off. And any time that we produce, for example, if we're out shooting or I go and shoot an event, sometimes it's not both of us. I might go and shoot an event, and the lighting is X. I might come back with a preset that I've worked on based on that shoot, which is, I don't know, cloudy and bright, for example. I might just call it cloudy bright, and I'll just share it and go, right, cloudy bright, that's what we used on that shoot. Like, for example, at your wedding camp, we produced 6 or 7 different presets when we got back from that, so that we knew, right, okay, go away, we'll go through all of our photos, we'll work with these as our base presets, and then we sat down together, and then we worked through the process to make sure that they're all consistent.
Yeah.
But, kind of coming back to, I guess, Josh's point of being honest, we are quite honest, and we don't take any hard feelings. It's probably one of the best things about working with someone like Josh and Josh working with me. We don't take offence to anything. We might go through a picture and I go, I like that, and Josh will go, no, that's shit. Right. But, if it's shit, it's shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I might go, I like it for this, but if I like it for that, I'll go, boom, I'm not going to delete it. I'll keep it and I'll use it for myself. But it doesn't mean that it makes the final edit that goes to a customer or client or goes out to socials or websites, wherever it may be. So it doesn't get published, But I might like it. But if it doesn't fit the brick of what we're trying to achieve out of that shoot, there's no harm in someone saying that's not great. We don't have to beat around the bush, whereas some people would take offence to saying, oh, that's shit, or I don't like that, or that's too dark, or what the hell were you thinking there? You know what I mean? That's not even in focus, or whatever it might be, So we don't take offence to that. We just go, oh, fair enough. Go on, get rid of that one then. And sometimes it might be, like you say, I'll send Josh all the images, and Josh will go, oh, well, I got rid of all of those ones because they were shit, and you're left with these images and these are the ones we're editing. Fair enough, well, you're editing them. Yeah. That's Josh's judgment in order to edit something that we're both going to be proud to put our name to. And vice versa, and I think we're quite good like that.
When it comes to the look, I think we're sticking to the more creative side. There's enough people doing those, like, not that we can't do it and that it's not okay to do, but those more clean commercial shots.
Yeah,
it's quite straightforward and not very inspiring. So we like to go and have fun with the camera, play about, try different things. So just make it stand out a bit.
Yeah,
now.
I think we have a little bit more fun going out, and you might spend a day doing a shoot, and it might end up that you come back and you've got 1,000 images, but out of that you might only get 3 that you like.
Yeah.
But I'd rather do that and lose, the 900 odd shots, and go, do you know what? I've got 5 bangers here, and I'm happy with those 5.
Yeah.
Rather than go, I just 100 shots, they're all right. I put them out there, I like. It's got to be something that I like, and again, probably something that is still coming with that confidence building and being comfortable with yourself is definitely at the point, I'd say, within the last year or so where, again, I don't really care what other people's perception is. I think sometimes, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, you'll look at the image and you go, oh, I won't post that because, maybe most people won't like it, or they won't get it, or they won't do it. Forget that. I like it. I think it's a cool image, and I'll send it out, And it's, I think, taking that step back and look at that and going, like you were saying, it's how I tell my story and how I see things. And I think that's where you create your coolest stuff in my eyes. So it's what I'd encourage anyone else to do, regardless of what it is that you do, whether it's taking pictures or shooting videos or creating a podcast or just riding your bike or whatever it is that you do, do it the way you do it and don't worry about what anyone else thinks. And if you do it with enough passion, I think people will like it because it will come across,
Yeah, I mean, that's, before we go on to something else, maybe to finish on this, the reason that we asked you guys to photograph our wedding was because of that. I think we had a conversation where we were like, we don't necessarily want to have the the wedding, you know, we need wedding photos of us together and families, but what we actually want is people having fun, people like dicking around. We want people in the smoking area. We want people we want candid shots of people talking or dancing or that kind of thing. So like, however you've done it versus that static, like you said, slightly corporate way of taking photos, you've definitely done it. And I mean,
and I think that's probably the best way to describe what we do. I think you've probably nailed it there. Is that candid BTS, real life, almost like a street photography view on whatever it is that we do, whether or not that's shooting products, you know, clothing, whatever it may be, products for brands or parties for brands or events for brands or whatever it may be. We like to shoot it candid BTS and shoot real people doing real life stuff. I hate it. One of the biggest pet peeves of being out on an event shoot is you'll be half in a bush, you know, like a creep on lens, you know, bowed down somewhere, and someone spots you and they go, "Oh," and I'm like,
I hate it. Hate it.
40 minutes later.
Hate it.
It's like we get in amongst the party. We are part. We just go as if we're guests at the party. We want to be like that. We don't want to be seen as the photographer in the corner. We just mix around, chat to everyone, have a laugh,
and stick the camera in your face.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, there's another one there.
I was watching some YouTube street photography guy walking around New York. I don't know what the channel's called, but you know when YouTube just throws you those random videos in your algorithm, and you just click on them, and then before you know it, you watch 45 minutes of this video, and you're like, where have I got to? And it was just this guy in like New York showing his style of street photography, and it was just basically like, he would just get his like film camera out and just shoot it in people's faces, and that was his technique. And it was like at some point people like
he had a flash there as well, didn't he? I think I've seen it.
So I was like, that's so like aggressive, but the shots did look quite nice.
I mean,
you've got to be prepared to die.
So we've talked about the ZF media part, and I know obviously it's part of ZF, the global brand. I think I first came across it when you, I podcasters next, I hear. I first came across it when you did some bidons that were actually the measurements for, I think it was like a half pint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid idea.
I think that's around in the pub, didn't it? After a ride.
Yeah, no, the first bottle had one on. Because
but that come around in the pub. I think we were having. I can't remember why.
Yeah. Someone poured a beer into a bidon and it's like, should have pint measurements on the side. So like I think the first 3 or 4 bidons had pint measurements on the side. Yeah. And the supplier was like, it's not actually a pint. You're not supposed to put that on there. It's not. I was like, Zero Fuxx, man. Come on.
Read the bottle.
Yeah. Like literally says on the front.
So tell us about
just not serious.
Yeah, maybe tell us about that. Obviously, if people are listening to this, they can't see that Khory's wearing a ZF sweatshirt. But was it the brand that came first? And I guess when you decided to do it, what was your kind of thoughts about what you wanted to make or what you thought people wanted to see? What was the kind of the apparel or the branding part of that like?
There was no real motivation, really. I started Zero Fuxx CC just as an Instagram thing, and then I went out for a ride, and someone had the idea of making some bidons, so I was like, fuck it. I went back to the office, went onto Canva, and designed a bidon, sent it off, ordered 100, and they sold. And I was like, oh shit. Sold some bidons, and then that went on to. I used to be an ambassador for Atticus. The cycling brand.
Yeah, I know
that. Cycling. I was up with Jimmy and Emily, and we were watching something on Netflix that was about old street style and those old Gucci prints. And I was like, it would be such a funny idea to do a jersey with just Zero Fuxx on it, all over it, just really small. And they were like, then I went away, and then I messaged Jimmy, and I was like, "Can we do it as an Atticus custom?" He was like, "Fuck it, yeah, let's do it." So kind of done a jersey as a mystery jersey, I think it was.
Yes.
Like, so people didn't know what they were getting, so they just ordered it, and then it was just delivered. Like 8 weeks later.
Jersey with Zero Fuxx.
I'm going to copyright that idea. I need to bring back the mystery jersey.
We need to.
Because that was fun, and I enjoyed it. But then, like, it was just stupid ideas, stupid designs, all pretty much designed by myself, with input from Khory as well. Like, he would have an idea, and then I learned how to use Illustrator, and just came up with the ideas and design. I'm not a designer, don't know what I'm doing.
He's pretty good at it. Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that's kind of how it was. Just little snippets of ideas and turn them into a jersey or a hoodie or a T-shirt. I can't remember what else we made.
Socks. So we did socks. So I think probably one of the things it evolved into was, in terms of promotion, was me and him doing stupid shit. So we would go, right, and we would call it stupid shit. We go, what can we do that's stupid that we've got literally no business doing? So I think it was first summer in lockdown, wasn't it, 2020?
George Floyd?
Yeah, George Floyd. So, you know, the whole 8 minutes, etc. We said, we'll do 80, was it 80 laps or 88 laps?
80 laps of Regent's Park.
80 laps of Regent's Park. I don't think that year we'd ridden
That's 350 kilometres.
Yeah. So that year we hadn't ridden more than about 60 laps in one go. So we'd not done anything, any term of distance at all. And I can't remember, I think we were texting him, we said, let's ride 80 laps. And he went, yeah, fuck it, we'll ride 80 laps. And then Josh has got a thing, so if you're not prepared to do something, don't mention it to him. Because what Josh will do is he'll go, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And then he makes it extremely public and tags you in it. Straight for it, saying you have to do it. So he literally did that. And I think within about 45 minutes, he had a charity page up and whatnot, and everything was like official while we were doing it. I was like, shit.
It got real very quickly.
Really quick. And I think it was probably only about 6 weeks before, wasn't it? Something like that. If that. It wasn't particularly long. So we didn't do any long rides or anything before we did it. Yeah. And then we were like, well, we need to raise some money for charity. I don't just want people to pay me they should be able to have something for it. We had Zero Fuxx, so we made some socks. No, I don't have mine. They were the ones with the fist in the back.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen those.
I remember those.
We made those. We made those. Yeah, so we made those, and that was basically to give some people something tangible that they could have from supporting what we were doing, but also, I guess, to show that they supported a cause in a way as well. So we made those socks, and we ended up riding, was it 356
355k.
Absolutely horrible down the bike.
Still gives me PTSD.
I don't really like riding Regent's Park. I spent too long there. We got there at 5 in the morning and we finished at about 10:15 at night. And we had loads of people come up to ride with us. And it was brilliant. Up until lunch, it was great. I think we done about 190k or something before lunch. We sat down for lunch and we were sat in the park. It was a nice day. So we sat in the middle of the park. We had food set up. What's the place in King's Lane there? Sent us the food. Dawling and Co. Shout out to Dawling and Co. and Kings Langley. They sent us a massive hamper to support us for the day. And we had loads of people come up. My wife came up with the kids, whatnot. We ate food. She hates me. And but we had loads of food, and then we got back on the bike, and I had severe cafe legs for about 40 minutes, and then my right knee went, and I was just in a hole for about 120k, basically riding with one leg. Horrible. And then our mate Lewis turned up like a knight in shining armour, probably about 50-60k from the end. He rode from Watford out to Regent's Park to meet us, and then basically towed us round until.
That's what you want,
mate.
Yeah, literally got myself. Yeah, and then he's like, I'm going to ride home. I was like, no, get in the car.
Mate,
and then I was so tired and nearly killed him.
Shout out Lewis.
Yeah, shout out Lewis. He's a monster, by the way. Don't ever ride with him. His zone 2 is really high.
maybe with talk of Regents, we use that as time to go to a break.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going into our quick Q&A session. So lads, I know you've spoken about Regents, but what do you think's more pro, Regents or Richmond?
Ooh. Regents. I think Regents is more pro. For the times I've been there. Richmond, lovely. I think it's got Richmond. I'd rather ride Richmond all day. I think Richmond's got way more of a nicer vibe, way more friendly. Richmond, it's got a lot of hitters. It's just mad fast. Well, it can be slow, but it is fast. Normally, you kind of get it. And you end up sucked into a group, and the next thing you know, it's just rapid. And you only end up doing a few laps, and then it's off for coffee. So I think, Regents is more pro. Richmond's way more fun.
I've never really ridden Richmond. Ridden like a couple of laps maybe, but I don't really know it. I don't really know it too well. Shot some cameras there and stuff. So I'll probably go Regents. Right.
Nice.
It's got history for me. It's got history. I'm going to go back through the inner loop one time. Technically, we had a bet. Like in October.
Don't start this shit.
We had a bet in October. no one lost. But,
this one?
Yeah,
no,
this
one.
one. We had a bet in October. We had to ride pretty much every day in October. We'll do an hour of exercise every day.
Yeah.
And no drinking with 2 veto days. Had to have a
couple of veto days.
Had to have a veto day for Oktoberfest.
Hammered.
Yeah. But yeah, the loser was going to have to go and ride 200k on their own.
Yeah, with no friends, not allowed to ride in the group.
In shit kit.
In shit kit, yeah.
Like no kit or a Marmite. Not that we care.
Heinz beans.
Heinz beans. Something like that. Not that we care if it's actually flavour.
Yeah. We're going to make it very Euro, so you have to wear like a triple XL. You know, like when it hangs down the back and that.
Yeah.
We're going to make it.
If anyone asked, you weren't allowed to tell them why you were doing it.
Yeah, it's just had to ride it. But it was more than 200k on your own, isolated, no friends, weren't allowed to ride with anyone. If anyone followed you, you have to ride the other way. And
it's kind of motivation we have to make us.
Yeah, otherwise I won't do stuff. So you kind of I've got to be scared into doing stuff.
So
was there a winner or a loser?
No, there wasn't. We both did it this time. We both did it. The year before, I still owe Josh a flight, actually.
He owes me a flight somewhere.
I have a flight somewhere, which is the best thing about it because we never agreed where. But we had to exercise every day, wasn't it?
Yeah, every day. He put out something. This is going back to the Instagram stories of me just announcing stuff.
Yeah.
He put out something and was like, I'm going to ride every day now. And I was like, Khory set challenge, going to ride every day forever. First one to lose has to buy the other one a flight somewhere.
Yeah. I think we did 100. We did 130 odd days or something in a row. And we were riding through Christmas, we rode Christmas Day, everything, it was fine. And then I think we agreed that we would call it on the 1st of January. I think it was the 29th of January. I got pissed on the 28th. Got up on the 29th and I was like, not riding, don't care. And then it was, I think it was 2 minutes past 11. I just instantly regretted it because I knew there wasn't an hour left. I could have just got on the bike. And then he messaged me at 1 minute past 12. He'd lost and then ribbed me for about 2 months on Instagram. So I still owe him a flight. But we never agreed where, so I'm going to buy him a one-way flight to Birmingham. And make him ride back.
So in answer to your question, Regents.
Yeah, Regents. So massively random.
So when you are getting spat out the back of the group at Regents and call it a day, where are you going for a coffee?
Ooh.
The pub.
Yeah.
Pub.
Any pub.
Our coffee's amber.
Yeah.
Normally about 6%. Coffees. Favourite coffee places around here, jokes aside, favourite coffee places around here is Fred and Ginger, King's Landing, or Berkhamsted, they've got 2.
Norskin Haddenham.
Norskin Haddenham, it's one of my favourites to ride to.
The good
right
cakes.
over the children's. They do a bakewell there. That's worth burying yourself for an hour to get there.
It's worth going over Whiteleaf.
Yes, yeah, barely.
Oh.
But yeah. And then it used to be called Musette, which is just down the road in Tree. It sadly closed down. It's been reopened. I can't remember what it's called now.
Church Farm
Cafe now, which is just down in Albury, just on the other side of Tring, which again is another great coffee shop. They're there and it's cycling focused, and you've got Chiltern Velo, which is just behind my house as well. So there's a couple of cycling based cafes around here, and
Nice.
I'd say that those ones are great. Fred and Ginger's a really friendly coffee shop. They sponsor Watford Velo as well. So they're keen on their cycling as well. So you're always welcome with your bikes, and you don't look like too much of a weirdo in your cycling kit, which is always handy when you nip into an artisan place. So a little bit of a coffee snob, not a very good one, but I do like good coffee. So I would rate the coffee at all those places.
And as you keep bringing it up, where's your favourite place for amber-based drinks?
Ooh.
Not too fussy, really, are we?
No, I mean I like a good old man's pub. You know, I like a good old man's pub because they're putting some numbers through their pipes, so their beer's fresh and it's wild, it's good. And there's a couple of places.
The pipes have been aged.
Really got into Guinness recently, so anywhere that does a good Guinness is good. But there's King's Arms in Tring. We drink often in Watford, the Nascot. Might have had a pint earlier. I'm not going to lie to you.
On a Monday.
A pint earlier.
I was working hard.
Yeah. Pretty much anywhere. To be honest, we do just like a good pub. So anywhere that's en route and opens early enough, because if you're out in the morning, I like to finish with a nice pint about 11 when they open.
Sometimes mid-ride. Sometimes people are shocked when they ride with us. They think it's a joke.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And then they're like, oh, it's 10 a.m. We're looking for a pub.
Yeah. People do get miffed by it. I mean, there was a great story. We were in Mallorca doing the 312. We weren't doing the 312, we did the 225. It's
not stupid.
For clarity, I'm not riding 312 k extra loop. It's flat. No interest. But we were riding the route, and we got down to Andrach, and we were pretty hungry, pretty thirsty, so we decided to stop. And I think when we stopped, we had a couple of pints, and we shared a couple of bottles of red wine mid-ride, and then proceeded to ride about 150k. And people were miffed on our way back when they were like, "You had a couple of pints and a bottle of red wine." It's like, yeah, can't feel my legs. It's great.
I've got a top tip for anyone. They want to do the Mallorca 312. Miss the cut-offs, but take the turn in anyway.
Yeah.
Because then you just get the island to yourself.
Yeah.
There's no other people. Still closed. So just hang back and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Closed roads, on your own.
Yeah.
Group.
So there was there was quite a bad crash at the bottom of the first climb coming out of Pollenza. And they basically said, "Oh, everyone turn left." We just turned right and went the way we were going anyway. And the roads were still, because it's a rolling road closure, they were still closed. So yeah, we just got to enjoy it. It was just about 6 of us just enjoying the island on the jacks. It was lovely, really good. And then we looped back in and joined up with the route and got towed into the finish, which was lovely. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. The 1920s Tour de France diet as well.
Pretty much, yeah. We did pay. We didn't just steal it and put it on the tap.
That video was great.
It was really 1920s. We didn't steal it. We paid.
that video's unbelievable as well, isn't it? And they just there's some little old lady on the side of the road, and the guy's just ramming in there, nicking bottles of wine. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. I love the fact that Tour used to pick it up and they'd just be like, "Yeah, bottle of red wine," just sharing it around the peloton. What a time!
Put it on the tab.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about the stuff that you love in cycling. Is there anything that you dislike about cycling, or you feel is a bit overrated and you've never really got?
I think people can take themselves too seriously, to be honest. I think there's a lot of, I think play to people that do take it seriously and stuff. It was one of the reasons I stopped playing football. Because, we're not in the Premier League. So I don't need to be shouted at on a Sunday morning. I don't want to be shouted at on my ride either. Do you know what I mean? So I think sometimes people get a little bit too serious. I think that's probably one of the things I dislike. I wish people would have more fun. That's probably my only thing I'd like to take away from it is I wish people would have more fun. And I think a lot of people could have more fun while still being fast. Fast is fun. You haven't got to take it too seriously. You're not there's not millions at stake here.
Yeah.
You know, there's no need to descend like Pantani. You're not him. You know, sometimes just enjoy your bike ride and don't take it too seriously. If someone needs to stop, let them stop. You know.
Yeah.
You know, just enjoy your bike ride. And I think that's probably the only thing I dislike about cycling is people taking it a little bit too seriously or judging people for what they choose to wear. You know, I like cycling fashion. I like looking what I think is cool on a bike and wearing cool kit. And, you know, I think it's amazing that there's brands out there that are doing cool stuff because there wasn't a lot of brands that were doing cool stuff. Probably, you know, like it or hate it, pre-Rafa.
Mm.
I don't think there were many brands.
There was nothing.
Mate.
Maybe Castelli, but Rafa made cycling cool again.
Mate, do you remember
and you can like it or hate it.
Mate, do you remember the quarter zips with the flappy arms pre-Rafa?
Yeah.
You used to have to your mum used to have to take in at the arms because like
Yeah.
Andre the Giant was getting in it,
It's
or
like,
you.
It was like body like a catwalk model and arms like Arnold. Like it didn't quite make sense, the proportions. But I think, you know, you like it or not, Rafa made cycling cool again.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to, you know, be into something and wear cool kit and if that's what you're into. But also, there's nothing, you can't stop people that just wear whatever it is that's appropriate for them to wear on the bike and don't not include people because they're not dressed as cool or what you think is as cool as you think what people should be on bikes, you know. So I think that elitist thing, although it's going, I think needs to just get the hell out of cycling. And I think people need to have a little bit more fun.
I think he said it all, to be honest, as always.
Yeah, I talk.
He's the talker. So yeah, I'm pretty much along the same line. But just the elitism, it's just unnecessary, especially when you're on your Sunday group ride. Just chill out, have fun, have a chat. There's no need to be doing fucking efforts on a group ride. If you want to do that on your turbo or solo. Or if you're doing a chain gang and it's supposed to be like that, fair enough.
Yeah.
But if it's just a group ride, just chill out. Don't ride like 5 bike lengths in front of the group because you're showing that you're stronger than them.
Yeah. Also, one other thing as well.
Oh, here we go. We've got
There's one more thing. It is because I'm a cyclist, right? I love riding my bike. I'm a cyclist, and I think we need to be safe out there. And I think there's a lot of things that people do that make it difficult for us to be safe, or make drivers hate us more. Because drivers don't like us in this country. I'm also a petrol, right? I'm a massive petrol. I love cars. And I get both sides of it when things are annoying. So when people ride, 3, 4 abreast on a road, fine, don't mind. Be safe, be seen, all of that, gubbins. But if there's a car behind you, drop it into single file, let the car past.
Yeah.
Then go back to what you're doing. Right? That part arrogance of, but it's also my road and you don't pay road tax because road tax doesn't exist. I get that.
Yeah.
Right? But just let the cars past. Just let it past, and then everyone's safe, and maybe they'll hate us a little bit less. Maybe they won't, but I just think that whole car versus bike confrontation that we've got, I think there's protagonists on both sides that don't make it any easier for either side. So I wish that people in cars would be a bit more understanding. The bikes are doing 20 miles an hour. That's pretty fast if you're pedaling yourself. Right? You can't go that much faster. Give them a chance to fall in line, but also if there's a car behind and someone says car back, just drop in single file, let the car pass, and then maybe everyone would be a little bit safer.
Mate.
But that's my last mate. But cycling's fucking brilliant.
Speaking of brilliant cycling things, where do you guys stand on white bib shorts? This is a white bib short safe space.
So, I think there's a couple of people that have done it well.
The pause.
There's a couple of people that have done it well. Mario Cipollini, he'd get away with it.
Terrible person, great cyclist.
What, topless?
Topless white bibs. He does what he wants. He does what he wants.
He also wore a toga, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. He also wore a full leg, full arm skin suit in zebra colours, didn't he?
Oh yeah, of course.
Midnight, in late 90s.
There's that
What?
the muscle skin suit as well. Where it was
Oh
like
yeah, you want the muscle skin suit as well. Yeah, what a guy! What a guy!
Your argument is like going down and down and down. The
It
more
is.
they talk.
It is, but yeah, I think Chippo did it well. Who else? Did Bryden bring out white shorts in the GB kit? I think he did. I think he did. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
Didn't Van der Poel just bring out the skin
Van der
suit?
Poel did it, I think, and I think a couple of people have done it okay. As a rule, no.
I'm okay if it's a skin suit.
Yes.
Although people hated on those luminous bibs.
They did.
People
luminous bibs
hated
were
on
grim.
those luminous bibs.
They were grim.
I love.
Don't wear them if you're doing a gravel ride. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, just
But-
expose yourself.
In Nice, I reckon they look pretty fresh.
Yeah, in the right context, white bibs can be okay. Can be okay.
There's one cyclist that you forgot off your list.
Oh no,
it's Cam
I
Allen.
remember who did it.
Thank you, London.
Had to stick the boot in. I think in the right time and right place, white bibs are fine. I think again, go back
Not
to
in
zero.
London, basically.
Go back to Zero Fuxx. Do what you want.
I'm just
Do what you want.
I'm part
Don't
of,
care what anyone
part of the
thinks.
brand
If
identity.
you want
is
my
like-
white bibs, go for it. That's it.
I'm just more worried about the Mickey drips.
Yeah. You don't want a amber patch in the front.
Yeah. You have a mid-ride piss.
if you have to, if
You're
you've
going to
got
get some staining.
an incident of the
We'll
Tom
get some
Doom
staining.
buttons.
Yes.
Yes, that as well.
Yeah. One gel too many could spell disaster in white bibs. That's what I'm saying.
In fairness, one coffee could do it.
yeah. First coffee is always the worst one.
Yeah. So, cycling's full of, I guess, iconic images. But what do you prefer? Seeing like cobbles or mountain races? What would you prefer cycling on, cobbles or mountains?
Watching, probably the cobbles. Riding the mountains.
I think that's a fair call.
I don't think anyone enjoys riding on cobbles that's really honest with themselves. For a long dip, what's the longest you've ridden on cobbles?
10K.
Exactly. Go and do Paris-Roubaix and tell me you still like cobbles.
So I genuinely thought I was going to die. Genuinely thought I was going to die. My tires I like pumped up to the max. Like, so you flick them and they make that pinging noise. That goes back to the days of having a claw bumper.
Yeah.
And there's I loved it and I felt great. And I think it's a part, that I thought, well, no one else would do this. And then I saw like a pro doing it like 45k an hour. And I was like, fine.
Yes, well, I think we rode some of the Roubaix sections earlier this year when we were over in Roubaix. We rode little bits of it, no more than a couple of K. A couple of the, I think they were 3 or 4 star sectors.
Yeah.
Proper couples,
Yeah.
And they're savage. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to race them. I don't mind riding them, but I wouldn't want to race them. But imagery-wise, I think if you're going to photography, a wet day in Belgium,
Amazing.
the best images you'll ever see in your entire life. You look at the most iconic images in cycling, it has to be from the classics. Whatever classics there may be, but people peppered in dirt, mud all over their face, soaked, empty. You don't see a more empty cyclist or a more empty peloton, I think, than you do in the classics. You get 1 or 2 at the front end when you're in the mountains. A lot of the other people ride within themselves at the Grand Tour because they've got to ride again tomorrow. But I think the classics are so iconic because it's one day. And they leave everything on the road, and they're treacherous conditions. They're hard, even in the summer. They're covered in dust, and when the summer in the warm in the sun, they're covered in dust. And it's from an imagery perspective, I don't think you can get anything more iconic that tells how hard cycling is than pictures of people at the end of Paris-Roubaix or
Yeah.
That iconic shot at the end of Roubaix. Dust on the face, glasses off, ring
yeah.
on the floor, absolutely gassed.
Tour of Flanders, any of those, Omelette, Newsblad, any of the classics, or semi-classics, I think imagery-wise they're my favourite pictures of cycling. Riding, I don't think you can beat an early summer's day in the high mountains. It's fresh, it's sunny, you're cruising, you get to see stuff that you'd never normally see. You're not burying yourself so much, you can ride within yourself a little climb, you're comfortable, shorts, t-shirt. I don't know.
I feel like I'm there, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you want to go. Right, summer holiday. Where do you want to go? Alps, Mallorca, maybe Calpe. No, actually, do you know where I want to go? Can we go Ghent for my summer holiday?
Ghent in February.
No one said it. Ghent in February, epic.
Which is what we done.
We did, and it was hell.
It's probably my hardest ride.
Really?
Riding from Calais to... Was it Ghent?
It was Ghent, yeah, it was Ghent.
Calais to Ghent. Pan flat.
Windy.
Loaded bike. We had all of our camel gear with us. This was February this year.
Yeah, we went to shoot.
We rode...
I remember that.
Went on loop with Laser and Gloria.
Yeah.
We rode Gloria bikes.
Shout out
Which were
Carlos.
comfortable, to be fair.
Shout out Carlos.
Shout out
Carlos.
Nicest man in London.
Pretty much, yeah. You need anything bike-wise, go see Carlos.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a big ride, wasn't it? It was a block headwind for starters.
Yeah, always.
Pretty much. We got off the alley and hooked to left. And it was quite nice until we got to...
We were promised the tailwind as soon as we turned.
Yeah, we were promised.
That's not going to happen.
And it didn't happen.
We turned and the wind turned and gave us another block headwind. The temperature dropped and it started pissing with rain.
How miserable was that?
We rode
That's
probably...
proper Belgian riding.
Yeah, it was. We got a full Belgian welcome. It was block headwind, driving rain, freezing cold, and he was miserable. We rode about 10 metres apart for about 60k.
Jesus.
Fell off.
Yeah.
Fell off.
Yeah, they got run over.
Pushed in the bush by a tractor.
Yeah.
Did
you feel like-
experience?
Like when Garrett Tom and
He's the nicest man in cycling. I blame Carlos. I had knobbly tyres, he had slicks.
Yeah. That was the only reason I was faster that day.
Yeah. Nothing to do with those great legs.
Yeah. But no, I think, imagery, classics, cobbles, cycling wise, mountains.
Fair. Well, guys.
I concur.
Well, guys, look, we won't keep you for too long. Thank you for being on the podcast. Have you got anything to plug? Where can people find you?
As you can follow us at ZF Media or at ZF Media _ on Instagram or Riding Bikes Taking Pics.
Riding Bikes Taking Pics.
Or Khory ZF Media, to keep it simple over here. So that's us on Instagram, and our website is www.zfmedia.co.uk. But yeah, if you want to get us up for some pictures, give us a shout. We're pushing like a load of different bits and bobs at the moment, so we're not only just doing brand stuff, we do want to help people out as well, because we do love the community and we like being out there and having fun.
Yeah, we was talking about doing some social media shoots for people.
Yeah, so another thing that we'll be looking at is doing some content creation for people.
Cool.
So where people want a little bit more of a zing on their socials and stuff like that, we're going to start offering some packages for people that's accessible to get professional level pictures for a reasonable price to push their own brand and their own stuff on their socials. So that is something that we want to do, just to, I guess, not give back, but support the scene and support the stuff that we like. We don't want to see cycling go anywhere. We want to see it go from strength to strength, whether that's cycling, running, whatever it is that you do. Clothes, modelling, anything. But we want to offer packages for people that helps them push their own stuff forward and do something that they like doing, and generally don't give a fuck and want to have fun doing it. So that is something else that we'll be doing moving forward. So you'll be able to see that on our socials.
There's a caveat. You have to buy us a beer at the end of the shoot.
Facts.
Sounds like Pints and Parfaits up your street.
Yeah,
it definitely is. We've got a couple of ideas for a little couple of events as well. We're going to do our own version of your Regents World Champs. We're going to do hopefully one day, if you don't get arrested for doing it, beer climb World Championships. So be hill climb season, end last race after the Nationals when people are taking themselves less seriously. But there's a couple of savage climbs out this way. Turn up, have a beer, ride the climb. Last man standing wins. So you do
You've
one.
got to have a beer at the bottom.
Come down, have another beer, ride it, come down. Last man standing wins.
Oh my god.
Oh. What happens if you don't drink beer? Are you like drinking?
Last person standing. Last person standing.
Very good. Well,
What happens if you don't drink beer? Is wine the option? Or is
Lucky
it beer
Saint.
only?
Oh, yeah,
You can have
wine.
wine, you can have Lucky Saint, you could just have sparkling water, but it needs to be fizzy. So Prosecco, sparkling water, Lucky Saint, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, just needs to be fizzy. You could have 10 cans of Coke if you want. I'm not sure it's going to help you.
That's what
Not sure it's going to... Sprite, because the Sprite challenge, I don't think that's going to sort anybody out. I'd rather have beer.
well, Josh, Khory, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And we'll speak to you soon. And hopefully we'll see you on our group ride. Work in progress pending March.
100% we'll be there. Oh yeah, do the pose. The one I liked.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Take it easy.
Bye.